Imagine you're perfectly sane. You've got a job, friends, a normal life. Now imagine you walk into a mental hospital and you tell one tiny lie, and suddenly nobody believes you're sane anymore. Even when you act completely normal, the doctors think your every move is a symptom of madness. This actually happened. It's called the Rosenhan Experiment, and it's probably the most matrix glitch moment in the history of psychology. So it's 1973. A Stanford professor named David Rosenhan wants to know, is insanity a real thing we can see? Or is it just a label we stick on people? So he goes off to recruit seven of his friends, a painter, a housewife, some psychologists, and he calls them pseudo patients. And what is their mission? Well, it's to get admitted to a mental ward. And what's their strategy? Well, they're going to tell the same lie. They said they heard a voice in their head, a dull, thudding voice that whispered, well, three words: empty, hollow, and thud. And that's it. That was the only crazy thing they did. And you know what happened? Well, it worked. Every single one of them was admitted. But here's where it gets wild. As soon as they get through these locked doors, they stopped faking. They acted totally normal. They were friendly, they ate their lunch, they took notes on what was happening. And the doctors, they didn't see normal people. They saw symptoms. And when the fake patients, for example, walked up and down the hallway because they were, bored, the nurses then wrote down, patient engages in pacing behavior due to anxiety. Or, for example, when they took notes in the journals, the chart said, well, patient exhibits compulsive writing behavior. And it took an average of like 19 days for them to get out. One guy was actually stuck there for 52 days. And when they finally let them go, they didn't just say, oops, how bad you're fined. They still labeled them as, people with problems, but probably in remission. So basically, you're still crazy. You're just not acting like it right now. That's what they wrote down. But wait, it actually gets even better or worse, depending on how you look at it. So the psychiatric community was obviously furious when the study came out, and one famous hospital basically told Rosenhan, huh, our doctors are way too smart for that. Try that again and we'll catch your fakes in a heartbeat. Rosenhan said, well, challenge accepted. And he told them that over the next 3 months, he would send in at least one fake patient. So the hospital obviously went on high alert. They like scrutinized every new person that walked in. And by the end of the 3 months, the hospital, proudly announced that they had caught 41 fakes, right? The thing is, Rosenhan never sent anyone. The hospital had turned away 41 people who actually needed help because they thought they were playing a game, right? So this experiment changed everything. It forced the medical world to rewrite the rules of mental health because, as Rosenhan proved, once you put a label on someone, it's almost impossible to see the human underneath. But some recent investigators think Rosenhan might have, you know, exaggerated his data to make the story better. So, was the system broken, or was this guy exposing it just a really good storyteller? Let me know in the comments.